What is up, guys? I'm Eamon,
I'm Ed.
I'm James.
and we are three teenage boys from Lynn, Mass. We just want to give this whole podcast thing a shot because we love talking, cracking jokes, and stuff like that.
Long walks on the beach.
And ice cream.
That's right. And romantic music. We're talking about the classics, baby.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, just a fair warning. This is our first episode, and we are talking about a more serious matter about the whole coronavirus situation and schools being canceled and stuff like that. So if serious isn't your cup of tea, then, just stay tuned for our second episode. And yeah, enjoy. Thank you so much.
Let's do this. So, we're just three kids from Lynn, seniors, actually. And we've always talked about having a podcast. Always talk about talking because that's what we like to do. We have a strong bond and we like to talk. So we're going to try this out.
Okay, let's try it out.
All right. You guys heard the news today. So Governor Baker, who is the governor of Massachusetts, has announced that schools will be canceled for the rest of the year. So we're all seniors. I want to know what your thoughts are.
So there's some pros and cons. Eamon can go first if he wants.
Nah,
Dying to go first.
I insist, James. Ladies first.
All right. Thank you. Such a gentleman. Such a gentleman. So there's pros and cons to this. Pros.
Okay, I'm done.
One pros to this is that we'll all be distant from each other. It's gonna end up being safer for us to be home.
All right, Mom. All right, Dad. Whatever.
Stay home.
All right.
All right.
Let
Are
me
you senior or are you 30?
let me give you my
30,
let me
40.
give you my 2 cents on this whole situation. As a high school senior who was huge on school spirit, like we were the guys without our shirts at the pep rally. Not the pep rally, the starting home game. We were the guys who painted the school colors and school letters on our chests, repping the city. We're the same guys that came in first on the annual senior scavenger hunt.
My sister is pregnant! I'm gonna be a father! Yes!
What is that?
Oh my gosh! Wow, it's home.
I see you smile. The world stops.
But you gotta help him build the moment.
Cause you're amazing, just the way you are. We're the same guys that went all out for Spirit Week. I'm talking about all out. Insert pictures here.
Mhm.
Alright, so coming from us, it sucks. It fucking sucks. Not gonna lie. You know what I mean? And we're just not we're not the typical people that either care all about getting high grades or care all about having a blast. We like the best of both worlds. And coming from students who decided to take the beginning of the year to grind their asses off in hopes that they can just relax and chill at the end of the year once they get into their dream schools, kind of sucks because we don't get the opportunity. But I will say, I'd rather lose prom a million times than lose a loved one. And times like these are absolutely serious. And just as sad as I am about not having all these experiences, I'm even happier that the safety of my family and the safety of my community is put first. And priorities are priorities, man. Like, as much as it sucks, prom and graduation is just not a priority right now.
Yeah, I want to add to that. Honestly, yeah, I'm more worried. Like I said this like a week ago, I'm more worried about what's going on in the world around us rather than our senior year because it's such a sad time in the world and there's so much uncertainty. So there's not much you can do, but things that you could do is maintain positivity and keep your minds running. So me personally, all I need is a roof, food, good health. And I just need to know that my mom, my family, all of them are safe, and they are. So for that, I'm thankful. And if you ask me, I'm not too sad about senior year because everything in life, honestly, I hate to be the bummer here, but everything in life eventually comes to an end. And like this ending was like abrupt or whatever, but I can live with the fact that like I made like so many memories with friends and teachers and you guys that I just can't replace those. So senior year, actually, like the first couple of months of senior year, they weren't that bad for me. Like I had great memories, and I'm thankful for everyone that's been in my life all these years. So I'm excited. If like quite frankly, I'm more excited to see like what the future brings for all of us. And guys, we're technically done with high school, and I don't know. That's something that you just can't take away. Even if like the last couple of months of senior year were taken away, you just can't take away like all the memories, I guess. And
Exactly,
I'm
because
glad.
we're still
Yeah.
married.
Oh no, my bad. So yeah, I'm glad that I was able to like grow a strong friendship with you guys and
Thank you,
make
man.
like
Love you.
that's just what I'm like thankful for in my years of senior year and just all high school. Like my friendship with y'all, acquaintances with others and relationships with teachers and like all the fun times we had. And most importantly, I'm just glad everyone that like, we know of and you guys are healthy. That to me is what's most important, that we're healthy. And we can still all be together even though if it's virtually. We're still all here together. And you just got to have that sort of attitude to get through this because there's nothing you can do.
Couldn't have said it better myself. But yeah, I mean, I will say a lot of people are going off on social media, saying a whole lot of stuff about this, writing paragraphs. And, just as bad as that is, you also see people who graduated last year, 2 years ago, writing paragraphs saying, oh, my hearts go out to the class of 2020. You guys don't get to experience. I am so sorry with all my heart. This sucks, stuff like that. And to me, that's a slap in the face, dude. Like you're gonna act like we just lost someone, like a human being. You're gonna give your condolences and stuff like that because we didn't get to participate in prom or graduation. Yeah, that sucks. But people need to realize that prom and graduation, they're a luxury. They're not a right. You know what I mean? And it sucks that we didn't get it. We don't get to like participate and experience those things. But it'd be a whole lot different if Corona wasn't around and it just happened that something crazy happened where our school or our district was the only one who didn't allow this. This is a worldwide issue, dude.
Exactly. That's my point.
High school is no longer a priority. The health and safety of people is a priority. They're not living in reality right now. The reality right now is that we need to save as many lives as possible. We need to maintain the economy as long as possible. We need to do all these important stuff, right? And we need to do that in the shortest amount of time. And the only the fucking key to getting all that done in a short amount of time is people staying inside. You know what I mean? And people are just not recognizing that, especially teenagers. You know what I mean? And this is coming a lot. I mean, this is saying a lot coming from someone who is a teenager. And I do know exactly what it feels like, but
more importantly, a senior.
More importantly, a senior, exactly. And I do know exactly what it feels like. Come on. I'm literally, you don't understand how much forward I was looking, how much I was looking forward to prom and graduation. I was supposed to give a speech at graduation. You know what I mean? It's not as much as people say, oh, I worked my ass off for 12 years just to get it, just to not even get a diploma. That's disrespectful, all right? And as Ed was talking about earlier, you don't just get a diploma out of high school. You get an education. You get to grow as a person. You get to learn how to interact with people. You get ready for life. And I'm not gonna lie, we got all of that. All right, so you shouldn't be.
I said that over text. I didn't say that here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The rest is just the cherry on top. And guess what? You can't always have the cherry on top. We should be grateful that we got what we got.
Yeah, no, and I just want to add something. So like basically, like I remember our junior year. We didn't look at it for what it really was. So we lived through it. It was just whatever type of year. And I remember me and Eamon would always tell each other, oh, senior year is going to be the fun one. Senior year is going to be a lot of fun. Senior year is going to be the year that we're going to slack and all this and all that. But within this time, I didn't realize how good junior year actually was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just, it hits me. It hit me for a second because we didn't realize how fun junior year was. Junior year was, well, for me and Eamon, we had a lot of fun. You know what I mean? And senior year itself, the first couple of months, we also had fun.
Yeah.
And those are just, those are memories that they just don't go away. And it's something that I'm glad that I have. And I'm not the one to complain about, oh, I can't walk the stage. Because it's, as I mentioned in the text with Eamon, that we go to school not just to graduate. You don't go to school just to graduate.
You don't.
You don't go to work just to retire. You go to school so you can learn. And I hate how cliche that sounds, especially coming from one that hates waking up at 6 a.m.
I hate school. I hate.
Like,
You know, I agree with you. And this is coming from a person who used to walk the doors of classical high school every day, run into their guidance counselor, and be like, yo, Miss Dupre, bring me my dropout forms because I'm out of here. Like, as much as I loved it, in the moment, I just hated the stress and stuff like that. And I'm still grateful for everything I got. You know what I mean? I took everything for granted. There's a point where I'd get as much work done in a day and get everything that I need to get done and then just leave. You know what I mean? Just walk straight out through the doors, 2 hours, 3 hours before school even ended. And looking back right now, I do wish that I didn't do that.
And that's where the frustration comes from, because people are frustrated that they took their time for granted. Realize that they can't have it.
In the moment, we're always taking things for granted. We don't realize what we have until it's gone.
No, exactly. So like people realize like, damn, like we took this for granted. I'm so upset because now we can't make more memories. Well, that, sometimes it's as Eamon says, you have to prioritize the health and the safety of you, yourself, your mom, your dad, your loved ones, all that. As of right now, that's important. And two, in life, that happens like a million times and you don't realize it. Like when you move on from college, when you move on from one job to the next, like you might have like a lot of love for like one job, and let's say you get promoted and you work in like another building and you're stressed and you're occupied at your first job, and then you move on to your other job. It's always the endings that make you realize that we should have took this seriously from the beginning. That just happens everywhere. And, all you can do at this point is reminisce. And that's, that's a good thing, but you can't turn that into negative energy and say, damn, like shit, like I didn't work so hard just for this to happen to me. It's, it's inevitable. You can't do anything about it. You just keep moving on.
This is the next open.
You can reminisce. Like, I told this one kid who was saying like, oh, kids aren't able to like, think or reminisce. Like, no, they are able to reminisce and think about their memories and shit. But, it's another thing to just lay down and be sad about it every single day. When, in other ways you can just try to maintain positive energy, catch up with like, your parents who you're probably home with like now all the time. And you can, Zoom your friends, read a book, go for a run, find ways to keep your mind running. I mean, that's what I try doing. And
I wouldn't say I have an issue with any of this. I'd say where it starts to where I have one of those come on man moments is not when, well, people could reminisce and be negative and be sad all they want. You know what I mean? It's a free country. The whole feeling of reminiscing goes beyond just the free country things. It goes as far as a human right, where you are to be sad and feel however the way you want to feel. But when it starts not bothering me, when it starts making me, just tell myself, come on, dude, really? Is when people start complaining with anger, saying that, oh, this is ridiculous. I did all of this and I'm not getting this. And they're demanding prom and they're demanding graduation. Heck, to be honest, to me, if you want to be negative about and act like the saddest thing that happened in your life was not having prom and graduation. You know what? That kind of makes me, in a way that makes me not envious, but that makes me look at you and be like, damn, I wish my biggest fear in life right now, or my biggest ouch right now in life, was not having prom. Because believe it or not, I'm scared shitless. All right, I'm scared that I'm gonna have a diabetic mother who has uncontrolled and extreme diabetes, a father who's 66 years old, who's way above the warning level, or the, what's the term I'm looking for? Susceptible. You know what I mean? Who's really at risk. You know what I mean? Two parents with a high risk factor. That's what I'm worried about. You know what I mean? That genuinely scares me. And to see someone who's more worried about not having prom or graduation, I look at them and I'm like, you know what, man? You have a healthy family, and if that's your biggest problem, then more power to you. All right, good for you, man. I applaud you for just having, you're just fortunate enough to have that great of a life. But when it starts to just bother me is when people are making demands. No, we must have prom. We must have graduation. You know what my boss is doing? Guess what my boss is doing. You know, the one who owns the prom dress store? She started a petition to still have prom. It is at 3,000 signatures. 3,000 dumbasses signed petition to have prom. All right. Okay. First of all, it was in the employee group chat, and it was the whole staff was in that group chat. You know, I didn't even want to intervene and be like, yo, all right, one, you guys are wasting your time, because guess what?
CBC's allowing it.
Even if you get the whole country to sign it, you ain't getting a prom. All right. So they also, people with the whole change.org or .com, whatever that petition website's called, with that whole website, I feel like it makes it so easy to have a petition that people don't understand when petitions are valid and when they're not valid. They're valid when something goes against, when something is prevented from happening, when there's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't happen. That's when you can have a petition.
Why we can't have it?
I mean? This is just ridiculous when people are going out of the way. So that's when I get bothered, when people are demanding stuff, and it gets annoying. You know what I'm saying?
We also
aren't the. Sorry. And you know what's crazy? My boss is significantly old. The owner of the prom dress store, she is 79 years old. Her sister is 76. Her mother literally just hit like 99 years old or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, they just celebrated her birthday, I believe. There was like posters all over the store with their pictures, but like that's insane. You know what I'm saying?
People must forget we aren't the only class that has actually gone through something like this. There was a SARS outbreak.
Oh, yeah.
I was reading something where these doctors, when they were in school, they didn't have a graduation. They didn't have a prom either in 2003 because of SARS. But you don't hear them talking about it. In the moment, I'm sure they complained or whatever. But now, we haven't heard anything about that. We haven't heard them complaining about it. They said, we've been through it. We've grown from it. It is what it is. We can't do anything about it.
Hey,
no. I'm sorry, go.
No, Eddie, you first.
So it's something that's just uncontrollable, and it's something that just kind of goes away. It's something that comes up in, like, let's say 20 years from now, you're talking to like a girl that you just met or something. You start talking about high school. You're just gonna look back and say, oh yeah, we're the class that that had to go through the coronavirus outbreak. But that's like the end of the conversation. Point is, you're still in the future 20 years later talking to some girl, and you're healthy and you're good. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you could ask for at the end of the day. And I want to narrow this down to just classical students, because our principal, she is trying. She's listening to our ideas and stuff, and props to her that she's thinking about us and stuff, that she's considering like a later graduation and a later prom. So, you know what I mean? You can't complain about that, just because, it could be in November of Thanksgiving break instead of June. Like, we're still going to get a graduation, hopefully. It's just times are so uncertain right now that we can't tell you that we're gonna have this now or we're gonna have this 4 months from now because we don't know where this is gonna end.
You just can't
Like,
be promised.
the cases per day, like at least in the city of Lynn, one day it's 20, then the next day it's like 100, then the next day it goes back down to 40, and then it goes back up to 60 the next day. So it's so uncertain right now to the point where we just don't know what to tell you. So people get upset about it, because they're misinformed and they don't, they want to be told things, but no one's telling them these things.
See, the
They're
thing,
just, yeah. Go.
the key to come out of this is not to come out negative. In 10 years, 20 years from now, like you're saying, you're talking to someone. You don't want to say like, oh, I didn't get a prom, I didn't get a graduation. You want to say, I lived through that. Some people aren't able to say that. Some people aren't able to say, I lived through the coronavirus pandemic.
Which is just heartbreaking.
The thing you want to take out of this is to say that you lived through this pandemic. Not, oh, I didn't get a graduation. I didn't get senior skip day. I didn't get senior prank day. I didn't get a prom. None of that matters. All that matters is that you're saying you lived through this pandemic.
Yeah, no, it might matter to kids now, but believe me, in 5 years,
Exactly.
even 3 years, when you're off in college with new friends, a new environment, and most likely thriving, even if you're not going to college, even if you're going out there seeking opportunity, opening a new chapter in your life, you're not going to go back to the old chapter
All right.
and say, oh, like, I didn't get a senior skip day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's things like that you just don't have any control over. So, especially in times like this where it's so uncertain, we don't know what to tell you. So, the fact that like our principals even considering on doing this in November is, at least that's what I think.
That's grateful. And to be honest, I feel like to all the people that are still making demands and acting like this is their God-given right is to have prom or have their graduation or just finish out their senior year and stuff like that. I just want to say that, just like James was leading towards and stating earlier, was that, hey, this isn't the first time a class got their prom canceled due to a pandemic. Well, quite frankly, I rather have prom in the end of my school year get canceled for my safety than have it get canceled to be shipped out to war. Like, what about 1917, 1940, and 1969, where seniors in high school had no choice but to be drafted into a war? You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you look at the photographs, I don't know, but remember me posting that video on my story?
And 03 they went to war with Iraq.
Yeah, but I don't think seniors were. I don't think it was bad to the point where they were drafted from high school. Like in those years, I said like 1940 or 1969 or Soviet.
Yeah, world wars and all that.
Yeah, world wars, like actual crazy wars. People had no choice. Like actual seniors in high school, some of them were 17, 18 years old. They were forced to leave their house and just never come back. And imagine being put through that when you don't have the mindset to be.
Didn't come back.
I mean, like a lot of people that sign up for the military, like they're heroes and they prep themselves. They know what they're getting themselves into. They pretty much they chose to sacrifice their life or sacrifice the potential of not having a life, or I mean the potential of having a life to fight for the country. But then you have drafts where they're mandatory, and you have kids who one night they're just like, I don't know, texting their friends or just playing ball in their driveway. And the next day they're getting drafted with no choice but to fight. And those kids died. They saw stuff that they can't unsee and stuff like that. And I feel like people are taking this whole thing for granted. Like, you're safe in your house. like those kids weren't safe in their house. Those kids weren't even safe, period. They were literally risking their lives for the sake of the country.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, it's tough. And just a disclaimer, I don't think our conversations will ever be this sad ever again.
Oh yeah, these are pretty sad. Yeah, we're goofballs. We're never this is a serious matter, and it did need to be addressed seriously.
It had to be addressed. It was our daily news, actually.
It's happening today.
It's real life. It's happening. We're not just gonna.
It's not like it just had happened like last week.
yeah, and the schools, that's something that just recently happened. So it's just something that, we like to talk about. Just, have a little banter, have a little.
But we also aren't the only district going through this. There's states going through this. We have other people to talk to. Other people are going through the same thing we're going through right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, it's that thing that said, it's all a luxury, prom and graduation, all that, because there's countries out there that are just not gonna get it. Like we as a school, it's possible that we might get it in November. You know what I mean? So, just because it's not in June, it's gonna suck. No, it's not. We might possibly get it, and
Heck, you know what? I'm being honest with you. Having prom on the Saturday after Thanksgiving might be a whole lot better than having it at the end of the year, because then it's like a mini 5-month reunion.
You can update everybody on what you're doing in college, what you're doing.
You're getting your life started. Now you can catch up. Be like, hey, I have this awesome roommate, or like, hey, I just joined this awesome club. Hey, never in a million years did I ever think I'd be into fencing. Well, guess what? I went to Princeton and I tried fencing. Now I'm crazy for it. Turns out I have a natural talent for it. You know what I mean? You have those conversations instead of the same, what's up, bro? Yeah, what's good? Yeah, bro. Hey, you sealing the deal tonight? Fuck yeah. You know what I mean? That dumbass shit. Yeah. Now you have actually something to talk about, something to be excited about. You know what I mean?
I think it'd make the day and the celebration much more heartfelt.
It make the celebration much more heartfelt, and it just make it feel a lot better. The celebration itself will feel better if we have it in November.
Oh yeah.
And to be honest, this might be a precedent. You know what I mean? We might, years to come might still have prom, and then they might have their 5-month reunion if they save up enough money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this could also be a possibility. My question is, we're to bring up dates, and those dates either don't go to our school or, but how would that work? Or like say same school under class or something like that? Like I don't know how that would work. But at the same time, it's not the traditional prom. Who says you need a traditional date?
No, for real. All you need is just yourself, and
maybe just bring maybe it'll be like a reunion. You just bring yourself.
Yeah, of course. I don't. I like to cater to my dates. You know what I mean? Just make sure, or try my best to make them feel like, hey, I brought you here as my date. I'm gonna give you a whole lot of attention tonight. You know what I mean? Make sure you have fun while I have fun, and that's gonna be kind of hard to do. That's gonna be kind of hard to do when you're catching up with all your friends. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. So maybe having a date, if we do have it in November, is a bad idea. Not a bad idea, but maybe it's like.
I think it's a better idea.
Especially if you don't say you bring somebody not from your school. They're just going to sit there while you're socializing, talking to your friends.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely not. You can't be doing that.
Exactly.
All right, guys. We used all our free minutes, so we had to hang up and we had to call again just to say thanks for watching. We're going to see if we can do a couple more episodes and stuff and see if it's interesting. So it was a serious topic today just because that's what's going on in the world right now, but hopefully, we can come up with like funnier stories and stuff like that because, there's nothing better to do right now.
Exactly. And the next episodes won't be as negative as they were today.
All right. Well, that being said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, peace.
And wash your hands and be 6 feet apart. Peace.
Wash your hands. Social distancing, my friends, is the key to all health.
Peace.
What is up, guys? I am Eamon LaRusi.
I'm Ed.
I'm James.
And we are 3 kids from Lynn, Mass. Yes, Sin City. The trenches. I can't even speak right now. How about we cut and redo that one? Yo, what is up? My name's Eamon, and I'm here. Restart. Welcome back to the 3 Amigos. I'm one of your co-stars, A-Stacks, A-Money, A-Sizzle. You can call me whatever you want.
I'm the other amigo. I'm Ed. Just Ed. And just that.
I'm the other amigo, and I'm just James.
You can't steal my thing. You can't. It was my thing to say.
It was his. Oh my fucking God! He's stealing names now.
It is.
Wait, cut.